Om Shanti. Today is Thursday, Satgurubar, the 30th of January 2025. On this Thursday morning, let us listen to the Sakar Murli from our beloved Bap Dada. Bap Dada, Madhuban. Essence. Sweet children, there is no essence in this old world. So, what does Baba say in essence on this Thursday morning? Baba says, sweet children, there is no essence in this old world. This is why you mustn't let your heart remain attached to it. If you forget to have remembrance of the Father, you will experience punishment. Let us hear the essence once again on this Thursday morning. Baba says, sweet children, there is no essence in this old world. This is why you mustn't let your heart remain attached to it. If you forget to have remembrance of the Father, you will experience punishment. Today's question is, why do you disobey one of the Father's main directions? What is that direction? In answer, Baba says, the Father's direction is, never accept personal service from anyone because you yourselves are servants. Baba highlights the word servants. Baba says the Father's direction is, never accept personal service from anyone because you yourselves are servants. However, because of body consciousness, some of you disobey this direction that the Father gives. Baba says, if you accept that happiness here, your happiness there will be reduced. Meaning, in Satyug, many of you children say that you want to be independent, but in fact, all of you depend on the Father. So, let's hear the question and answer once again. Baba says, why do you disobey one of the Father's main directions? What is that direction? In answer, Baba says, the Father's direction is, never accept personal service from anyone because you yourselves are servants. However, because of body consciousness, some of you disobey this direction that the Father gives. Baba says, if you accept that happiness here, your happiness there will be reduced. Many of you children say that you want to be independent, but in fact, all of you depend on the Father. Today's song is, let the support of my heart not break. Om Shanti. God Shiva speaks to his saligrams. All human beings know about Shiva and the saligrams. Both are incorporeal. You no longer say that God Sri Krishna speaks. There is only the one God. And so, to whom does God Shiva speak? To you spiritual children. So, Baba speaks to us spiritual children. Baba has explained that you children must now only have a connection with that Father. Because only Shiv Baba is the purifier, the ocean of knowledge, and the one who gives you your inheritance of heaven. So what has Baba explained to us? Baba has explained to us children now that you must now only have a connection with that Father because only Shiv Baba is the purifier, the ocean of knowledge, and the one who gives you your inheritance of heaven. He is the one you have to remember. Baba says Brahma is his most fortunate chariot. He gives you the inheritance through this chariot. It isn't Brahma who gives you your inheritance. He too receives an inheritance. Therefore, each of you children has to consider yourself to be a soul and remember the Father. So, we do not get inheritance from Brahma Baba. Shiv Baba says that it isn't Brahma who gives you your inheritance. He too receives an inheritance. Therefore, each of you children has to consider yourself to be a soul and remember the Father. For example, if there is any difficulty with the chariot or for one reason or another you don't receive a Murli, the attention of you children goes to Shiv Baba. He is never ill. You children have been given a lot of this knowledge which you can explain to others. Some children explain such a great deal at exhibitions. You children have all of this knowledge. The knowledge shown in these pictures is in the intellect of each one of you. Baba says nothing should stop you children. If there is no post or there is a strike, what would you do then? You children have this knowledge anyway. You have to explain that the golden age did exist and that it is now the iron age, the old world. So, what should we explain? Baba says you have to explain that the golden age did exist and that it is now the iron age, the old world. Baba says that you children have this knowledge anyway. Nothing should stop us children. If there is no post or there is a strike, Baba asks, what would you do then? So therefore, Baba says you children have this knowledge anyway. You have to explain that the golden age did exist and that it is now the iron age, the old world. In the song too, you sing that there is nothing of essence in this old world. You must not let your hearts remain attached to it. Otherwise, you will experience punishment. So, we will experience punishment if we let our hearts remain attached to the old world. By having remembrance of the Father, you can reduce your punishment. Let it not be that your remembrance of the Father is broken, so that you have to experience punishment and you return to the old world. There are many like that who have left. Baba says they do not even remember the Father. Their hearts are still attached to the old world. This present world is very bad. If you get attached to anyone, you will experience a great deal of punishment. So Baba is cautioning us again and again and says that this present world is very bad. If you get attached to anyone, you will experience a great deal of punishment. You children must listen to this knowledge. You mustn't listen to the songs of the path of devotion. You are now at the confluence age. It is at this confluence age that you receive this knowledge from the Father, the ocean of knowledge. So, what do we receive at the confluence age? Baba says it is at this confluence age that you receive this knowledge from the Father, the ocean of knowledge. No one else in the world knows that only that one is the ocean of knowledge. When he gives this knowledge to human beings, they receive salvation. So, only when Shiv Baba gives knowledge to us, human beings, we receive salvation. Only that one is the bestower of salvation. And so, you have to follow his directions. Maya doesn't leave anyone alone. It is because you become body conscious that you make one mistake or another. So, Baba says it is because we become body conscious that we make one mistake or another. Some of you are semi-influenced by lust and some are influenced by anger. So, let's hear this sentence again. It's a new sentence which Baba says, some of you are semi-influenced. Baba highlights the word semi. Some of you are semi-influenced by lust and some are influenced by anger. There are many storms in the mind. Because you fall in love with someone, you want to do this or that. You mustn't let your heart become attached to anyone's body. The Father says, consider yourselves to be souls and all consciousness of your bodies will then finish. Otherwise, you will be disobeying the Father's directions. There is a huge loss when you become body conscious. Baba says, therefore, forget everything, including your own bodies. Simply remember the Father and the home. The Father explains to you souls, whilst acting through your bodies, remember me so that your sins will be burnt away. So, what is Baba saying? Whilst acting through your bodies, remember me, says Baba, so that your sins will be burnt away. This path is very simple. Baba also knows that you continue to make mistakes. However, it shouldn't be that you continue to be trapped by your mistakes. If you make a mistake, you mustn't repeat it. So, what should we not do? Baba says, if you make a mistake, you mustn't repeat it. Pull your own ears, says Baba, and tell yourself, I won't make this mistake again. You must make effort. If you repeatedly make mistakes, you should understand that you are going to incur a great loss for yourself. So, what is Baba telling us again and again? You must make effort. Baba says, if you repeatedly make mistakes, you should understand that you are going to incur a great loss for yourself. It is because of your mistakes that you reached a state of degradation. What have you now become after coming down such a high ladder? Previously, you didn't have this knowledge. All of you have now become wise with this knowledge, number wise, according to the efforts you have made. Therefore, Baba tells us, remain introverted as much as possible. Keep your mouths closed. Those who are wise with this knowledge would never attach their hearts to the old world. Their intellects would know that they want to bring about destruction of Ravan's kingdom. This body is old and it belongs to Ravan's community. Baba asks, or rather says, why should we remember Ravan's community? We should only remember the one Rama, that is God. We have to become the ones who remain truly faithful to the Father. The Father says, continue to remember me and all your sins will be absolved. You have to remain faithful to the Father. This means being faithful to God. So, being faithful to Father means being faithful to God. Devotees only remember God and pray, God, come and give us our inheritance of peace and happiness. On the path of devotion, devotees sacrifice themselves. Here, there is no question of sacrificing yourself. We die a living death. That is, we sacrifice ourselves to God. We have to belong to the Father for as long as we live, because we have to claim our inheritance from Him. So let's hear this very important line once again. Baba says, there is no question of sacrificing yourself. We die a living death, that is, we sacrifice ourselves to God. We have to belong to the Father for as long as we live, because we have to claim the inheritance from Him. We have to follow His directions. To sacrifice oneself whilst being alive refers, in fact, to this time. So Baba says to sacrifice oneself whilst alive refers, in fact, to this time, meaning the time of the confluence age. On the path of devotion, they commit suicide, etc. Here, there is no question of committing suicide. The Father says, consider yourselves to be souls and have yoga with the Father. Do not become body conscious. Whether you are sitting or walking, you must make effort to remember the Father. No one has yet passed with 100%. So, Baba says, no one has yet passed with 100%. You all continue to fluctuate. If you are not cautioned about the mistakes you make, how are you going to stop making those mistakes? So, Baba tells us, if you are not cautioned about the mistakes that you make, how are you going to stop yourselves from making them? Maya doesn't leave anyone alone. Many says, Baba, we have been defeated by Maya. We were making effort, but we don't know what happened. We don't know how we made such a serious mistake. They understand that because of that mistake, their names will be defamed in the Brahmin clan. They are so strongly attacked by Maya that they aren't even able to understand it. When they become body conscious, it is as though they also become senseless. So what is Baba saying? When people are attacked by Maya, when they become body conscious, it is as though they also become senseless. When there is senselessness, there is also deformation. Their inheritance is then reduced. Baba says there are many who make such mistakes. Maya slaps them so hard that they are defeated. Then, in their anger, they slap others or hit them with their shoe. Then they repent. Baba says, you now have to make a lot of effort. You have caused harm to yourselves and to others too. You have lost so much. There are the omens of an eclipse of Rahu on you. The Father says, if you now donate your vices, you can be rid of those bad omens. So, what is Baba telling us? If you now donate your vices, you can be rid of those bad omens. Once there are the omens of Rahu on you, it does take time. Baba highlights the word time and says, once there are the omens of Rahu on you, it does take time. Once you have climbed the ladder, it is difficult to come down. When people have the habit of drinking alcohol, they find it very difficult to give it up. The biggest mistake some of you make is to dirty your face. So, what is Baba telling us? The biggest mistake that some of us make is to dirty our face. Baba says you then continue to remember the bodies. Then, when you have children, you keep remembering them. What knowledge would you then be able to give to others? No one would listen to you. We are now making effort to remember the one and forget everyone else. So what is the effort we are making? Baba says we are now making effort to remember the one alone and forget everyone else. You need to be very cautious about this. Why? Because Baba says Maya is very powerful. Throughout the day, let your only concern be about remembering Shiv Baba. The play is now coming to an end and we will have to return home. Our bodies are going to be destroyed. To the extent that you remember the Father, accordingly, you won't remember anyone else and your body consciousness will be broken. So, Baba says to the extent that you remember the Father, accordingly, you won't remember anyone else and your body consciousness will be broken. This destination is very high. Baba says none of you must allow your heart to become attached to anyone but the one Father. So, what should we do? Baba says none of you must allow your heart to become attached to anyone but the one Father. Otherwise, that person will keep appearing in front of you. That one would definitely take revenge on you. Our destination is very high. It is easy to speak about this. Out of hundreds of thousands, only a few become the beads of the rosary. Some win a scholarship. Those who make effort well will definitely win a scholarship. Baba says become detached observers and see how much service you do. Many of you children want to be released from having to work and to become engaged in doing this spiritual service. But Baba looks at each one's circumstances. Let's hear that again. Baba says, become detached observers and see how much service you do. Baba also says, many of you children want to be released from having to work and to become engaged in doing this spiritual service. But does Baba allow each one of us? Baba says, Baba looks at each one's circumstances. If you are alone and you have no relatives, that's all right. Nevertheless, he says, continue with your other business as well as this service. So, Baba says, continue with your other business as well as this service. In your business, you have to meet many people whom you can serve. You children have received a great deal of this knowledge. The Father inspires a lot of service to be carried out through you children. So, what does Baba do? The Father inspires a lot of service to be carried out through you children. He even enters some children and does service. Baba says he has to do service. How can those who have a responsibility sleep? So, Baba is asking, how can those who have a responsibility sleep? Shiv Baba is the constantly lit lamp. The Father says, I do service day and night. If the body gets tired, what can the soul do? The body can't do enough work. The Father is tireless. He is the lit lamp who awakens everyone in the world. His part is wonderful. Only a few of you children know him. The Father is the death of all deaths. If you don't obey him, you will experience punishment from Dharmraj. One of the Father's principal directions is, do not accept personal service from anyone. However, because you become body conscious, you disobey the Father's directions. So, what is Baba saying? One of the Father's principal directions is, do not accept personal service from anyone. However, what happens? Because you become body conscious, you disobey the Father's directions. Baba says, you yourselves are servants. If you accept that happiness here, your happiness there would be reduced. If you form that habit, you would not be able to do without servants. Many say, I want to remain independent. But the Father says, it is good to remain dependent. All of you have to depend on the Father. So, Baba highlights the word dependent and depend. All of us have to depend on the Father. It is by trying to be independent that you fall. Baba says, all of you depend on Shiv Baba. The whole world depends on him. So, Baba says, all of you depend on Shiv Baba. In fact, the whole world depends on him, and this is why they call out, "O purifier, come." You receive peace and happiness from him, but people don't understand this. You have to pass along the path of devotion. The Father comes when the night is ending. There cannot be the difference of even a second in when he comes. So Baba says there cannot be a difference of even a second in when he comes. The Father says, "I know this drama." Baba highlights the word drama. He says no one else knows the beginning, the middle, or the end of this drama. In the golden age, this knowledge will have disappeared. You now know the Creator and the beginning, middle, and end of creation. This is called knowledge. Everything else is devotion. So Baba says you now know the Creator and the beginning, middle, and end of creation. This is called knowledge. Everything else is devotion. The Father is said to be knowledgeful. He is now giving us this knowledge. You children should have very good intoxication. However, you do also understand that a kingdom is being established. Some just become ordinary subjects or maids and servants. They don't understand even a little of this knowledge. It is a wonder. This knowledge is very easy to understand. The cycle of our 84 births is now coming to an end. You will soon have to return to your home. We are the principal actors in this drama, and so we know the whole drama. So who are we? Baba says we are the principal actors in this drama, and so we know the whole drama. We play the hero and heroine parts throughout the whole drama. This is so easy. But if it is not in your fortune, what effort would you make? This continues to happen in this study. Some of you still fail. This is such a large school. So what is it? Baba says this is such a large school. A kingdom has to be established. To the extent that each one of you children studies, each of you can understand for yourself what status you will claim. There are so many of you. Not all of you can become heirs. It is very difficult to become pure. The Father makes you understand everything so easily. This play is now coming to an end. You have to become completely pure by having remembrance of the Father, and you will then become the masters of the completely pure new world. Baba says stay in remembrance for as long as possible. If this isn't in your fortune, then instead of remembering the Father, you remember others. So Baba says stay in remembrance for as long as possible. If this isn't in your fortune, then instead of remembering the Father, you remember others. By attaching your heart to someone else, you will have to cry a great deal. The Father says, do not allow your hearts to remain attached to this old world. This world has to be destroyed. No one else knows this. They think that the Iron Age has to continue for a lot longer. They are in a deep sleep. The service you do at exhibitions is a fast way to create subjects. Some kings and queens will also emerge from these exhibitions. There are many who are very keen to do service. Some are rich and some are poor. You have to make others similar to yourselves. Baba says you will also receive benefit from that. You have to become sticks for the blind. So, just as blind people find their way around with a stick, we have to become sticks for the blind. Simply tell them to remember the Father and the inheritance. Baba says destruction is standing ahead of you. Only when they see that the time of destruction is very close, will they listen to you and what you tell them. So Baba says only when they see that the time of destruction is very close, will they listen to what you tell them. Your service will increase and they will think this is right. You continue to tell others that destruction has to take place. Baba says the service you do at exhibitions and fairs will also increase. You have to make effort to find a good hall. Tell them that you are prepared to pay rent for it. Tell them your name will be glorified even more. There are many people who have such halls. By making effort, you can receive 3 square feet of land. Until then, continue to hold small exhibitions. So Baba says we have to do service whether or not we get big halls or even smaller exhibitions. We must keep giving this knowledge to everyone. Baba says when you celebrate Shiv Jayanti, the sound will spread. Right, the day of Shiv Jayanti should be a public holiday. So Baba says, write it down that the day of Shiv Jayanti should be a public holiday. In fact, it is only that one's birthday should be celebrated. So Baba says, in fact, only that one's birthday should be celebrated, meaning of Shiv Baba. He is the purifier. The true stamp is that of the Trimurti. It says, victory through truth. So what does it say? The true stamp of the Trimurti says, victory through truth. This is the time of your gaining victory. You need someone good who can explain these things to others. The main ones at the centers need to pay attention to everyone. You can create your own stamp. Baba says, we can leave our own mark or you can create your own stamp. This is Trimurti Shiv Jayanti. People will not understand anything if you simply say Shiv Jayanti. Baba says it is you children who have to do all the work. When you benefit many, you will also receive such a lift. You will receive a great lift from the service you do. So what is Baba telling us? We will receive a great lift from the service we do. There can be a lot of service accomplished at exhibitions. Baba says subjects have to be created. Baba continues to see which children pay attention to doing service. They are the ones who climb on Baba's heart throne. Acha. To you, sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to you spiritual children, and we the spiritual children also say namaste to our spiritual father. Today's essence for dharana has 2 points. The first point, if you make a mistake, Baba says pull your own ears there and then so that you don't make the same mistake again. Never become body conscious. Become an expert in this knowledge and remain introverted. Second point, remain truly faithful to the one Father. Baba says sacrifice yourself to Him for as long as you live. Don't allow your heart to become attached to anyone else. Don't do anything senseless. So let's hear the 2 points once again. If you make a mistake, pull your own ears there and then so that you don't make the same mistake again. Baba says never become body conscious. Become an expert in this knowledge and remain introverted. Second point, remain truly faithful to the one Father. Baba says sacrifice yourself to Him for as long as you live. Don't allow your heart to become attached to anyone else. Don't do anything senseless. Today's blessing, may you be an embodiment of love and bid farewell to being separated for all time. Let's hear the blessing once again. Baba says, may you be an embodiment of love and bid farewell to being separated for all time. The blessing is explained by Baba. Baba says, love is to love something that the one you love also loves. What is love? Love is to love something that the one you love also loves. Let your way of walking, eating, drinking and living be that which is loved by the one you love. For this, whatever thoughts you have or actions you perform, first of all, consider whether they are loved by the Father whom you love. Become truly loving and you will become a constant and easy yogi. If you transform your loving form into the form of being equal, you will then receive the blessing of being immortal and you will bid farewell to being separated for all time. Finally, the slogan for today, let your nature be easy and your efforts filled with attention. Slogan once again, let your nature be easy and your efforts filled with attention. Acha, Om Shanti. In the Avyakt Ishara of the month of January, with your powerful mind, do the service of giving sakash. Today's point is, just as a whole tree is merged in a seed, in the same way, let the expansion of your whole tree be merged in your seed of thoughts, for only then will your upheaval of thoughts finish. Baba says nowadays all forms of upheaval are increasing in the world. Upheaval in politics, upheaval in the value of things, upheaval in currency, upheaval in the suffering of karma, and upheaval in religions. In order to save yourself and everyone from that upheaval, practice concentrating your mind and intellect, and also continue to do the service of giving sakash. Acha, Om Shanti.